Hello, everybody. So, welcome back to the second episode of what do we call this thing again?
Maliciously hopeless. And that's par for the course. That's been our life. That thing we have to do today. What did we call that thing?
Anyway,
Oh.
I'm Charity, or Wonderfully Hopeless, and
I am Mindy, or otherwise known as Miss Mel. And together we make Maliciously Hopeless.
So,
if you need to ask the backstory about our name, there's another YouTuber you need to contact. That is Jessie Marie from Jessie Marie Does Stuff.
Yep.
She's the one who came up with our name.
Yes.
And we'll let her explain
it. So, what has been going on for the last 2.5 weeks?
Wow. Craziness. Bomb went off in my kitchen. I have been living with my kitchen in my dining room for the past week.
That would drive me nuts.
Oh my God. I think what drove me even more, what was worse for me, is because of my anxiety. It's having strangers in my house. And yes, I know I got to get used to it because workmen, you have to allow the workmen to come into your house and do stuff. Yeah. I was okay when Steve was home or there was another person in the house, but when the 2 days that he had to come in before Steve got home, I was like, okay, need to breathe. It's okay. All these weird scenarios you have running through your head are not going to happen.
Just keep a baseball bat in the house.
It was upstairs. Saturday when he was here, though, doing work, I went to work. He was late. Saturday he was supposed to start work. He was late. I went to work. I came back. He had just gotten started and he was taping. And he did that, and he got almost all the way through the taping before we had to say, dude, we need to really go to dinner. You've taped off our stove. We got to go eat. So we kicked him out. We went to Arby's. He came back Sunday. I made it through being downstairs in my stitchy corner, just knitting and trying to relax and trying to stitch until halfway through he was here. Then I had to escape upstairs. I had to get into solitude where I could close the door.
Your zen space.
Yeah. But he has done a remarkable job. He was very meticulous in his prep work. He was very meticulous in the application of the paint. We got our cabinets painted. That's what this whole story is. Boom, throw a bomb in the kitchen. I tell you, man, if you rent and you've been renting in a place for a while, you kind of start to get a little settled, so you don't think of how much stuff you've acquired until you have to do something like, oh, we're going to paint your cabinets. We need you to take everything out of your kitchen.
Yeah, that would be why I'm dreading the thought of moving next year. I had this grand plan that I was going to pack slowly for the last 2 summers so that when I was done, it'd be all done.
Yeah, no. You met me. And then you've dedicated your summers to school and stitching. Just admit it.
Oh, so what's going on?
Work. It's like all of a sudden it was Christmas in summer at the shop. The amount of hours I've worked. Some of those hours can be explained away with my boss had her knee surgery. She had a partial knee replacement.
Yeah.
And I've heard from people that if you want a knee replacement, just get the whole freaking knee replaced. It's quicker on the recovery. Well, they only did a partial to her because that's all they needed to do. It didn't warrant a full knee replacement.
Yeah.
So she got partial knee replacement, and she was out a lot longer than she thought. She was out for about a month and a half. Now we were already down 2 people at the shop. We had one person quit, I think before or after last Christmas, or right before or in the middle of it. And then right before Sharon, my supervisor, left for surgery, we had another person quit. What would happen is he's going to school for graphic arts and he's doing his internships right now. Well, his internship supervisor said, hey, my buddy has a company and they're looking to hire somebody. I know you're not graduated yet, but just put your application in there and see what will happen. He got the job. He hasn't even graduated yet, and he got his job in his industry.
Nice.
So we're like, totally, you want to quit working here? Yeah. You want to go make adult money? Go.
Yep.
But that also left 3.5 people at the shop. I say half because the fourth person, she's tried to retire from the shop before. We keep kind of like, convincing her to like this. Well, I don't convince her because I'm of the camp where if you're going to retire, make that decision, retire.
Yeah, it's quite often not that easy. A lot of people, they need something to get them out of the house.
I can understand that, but part of this is also she doesn't want to like let go of the shop. It's like it's not your personal shop. This is a chain.
Yeah.
It's not going to falter without you. But it was kind of nice that we still had her around with Sharon being out. But 3.5 people working in that shop under the oldest one there, or the most experienced one there, under tremendous amounts of stress. She doesn't operate well under pressure in the first place.
Yeah.
And she's very blunt. She's one of these, it's kind of like the Minnesota thing. A lot of people think we're really nice. It's because we're numb. We are nice. We're very polite here in Minnesota. But we are also very blunt, straight-laced, and to the point. Mm-hmm. And some people who are that way, they have a hard time operating under pressure. And so a nuclear bomb went off in the shop. Everybody was like at each other's throats. The managers had to step in. Usually we're left alone by management in the shop because we are a part of their payroll, but we're not. We're not included in their daily payroll because we're income generating. We basically cover our own income. Cover our own payroll with our income in the shop. And the managers had to step in, and I mean major league step in. And I think one of the managers kind of like overreacted about it because of the way she went about it was kind of like mother hen, like, okay, everybody's going to apologize. You're going to show respect to this person and everybody's going to get along. And it's like, that's not how the personalities in the shop work. We all just needed to have that moment to blow up at each other because it'd been building and now we're all copacetic. Everything's fine.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, because, well, the one who was operating under tremendous amounts of pressure as soon as Sharon got back went on a 2-week vacation. And she's on vacation again. She's actually at Sturgis.
Nice.
Yeah. But so that's been my life, is blow-ups at work, tons of hours, like it's almost Christmas, and my kitchen getting a grenade tossed into it. So that's just my life. That's not even my stitchy life. It's like a great big grenade was tossed into my life and my stitchy life since tour.
Yeah, I can't say mine's been much slower. So let's see. After the last podcast, I had a week off, in which I got some stitching done. And then I had my grandniece and nephew for a weekend and a week. I actually had 3 kids over that first weekend. And then last weekend, I had to go to my hometown to do the family thing. And I then found out I have to spend 2 days next week in a high school. So yeah, that's I gotta get everything done for that. So I had a meeting yesterday with a professor. Today I have a uh, appointment at the university. I am like crazy busy. It's kind of nuts. Be glad when everything settles out and I get into a routine for this semester. I said routine in my life. That was like my professor yesterday saying that her class was going to be really easy and there wasn't that much work to do for her class.
Mm-hmm.
You're funny.
That's kind of what I'm waiting for too, is for the kids to get back to school. My oldest has been at his bio dad's for the past 2 weeks also, which has been kind of nice that he hasn't been around for all this, like, you know, upheaval.
Yeah.
But we get him back on Friday, and actually this Thursday he's having extractions, removals of teeth, because he's getting braces. That's another thing. I'm going to have a couple of Mondays where I will be mobile because I need to take him to Albert Lee. One Monday is to get the spacers. The following Monday is to get the actual braces.
So who needs more sedatives, him or you?
Considering I have dental anxiety, and just stepping foot into the office kind of starts to ping it.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I step in and I start hyperventilating. I completely understand.
And what's really hard is, and when I took Alex for a cleaning, he had to have a cleaning at one of our at the clinic here in town that we go to. Me and Alex go to. And I had Ian with me. Well, Ian has dental anxiety too. And we get back there, they're doing, it's been a while since Alex's, you know, last set of comprehensive x-rays. So they were doing his x-rays, and we're at the x-ray machine, and Ian starts to freak out, like starts to hyperventilate, starts to cry. I don't have any snacks with me because I know when he gets that way, he gets super hungry because he kicks up his metabolism. He is freaking out. And the whole time I'm like, baby, you're not getting in the chair. It's not you today. It's not you today. I'm sitting here going, okay, I got to remain calm because this kid's already freaking, and oh.
Does he bring his tablet when he goes?
Now we bring tablets. I stuff my purse with snacks. It's just,
yeah.
We still need to go school supply shopping. He has to have what they call summer assessment, different grades. Some teachers have you come in before school starts and they'll assess you.
Mm-hmm.
So that was out of the blue, so I had to schedule that. Then I still have to get Alex a physical because he needs to have a shot. I need to schedule a whole bunch more. It's just like, Jesus Lord. Can I have a second me?
Yeah.
No, wait. I don't know if I want a second me because then that's competition for the husband.
Okay. Well, let's get into stitching. Have you got any finishes?
No. Like I said, my stitching life just all of a sudden went. I think it was too many big events, like boom, 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 because I did Mania.
Mm-hmm.
And then we did Tour. And then we had Sweet Summer Escape. And I wasn't organized for any of them, so it's like chaos ensued.
I was organized and had my plans for Sweet Summer Escape, and then life happened, and today's the first time I'm stitching in a week and a half, almost 2 weeks. So, yeah, crazy. So, what have you been working on stitching-wise then?
Working on stitching-wise, I've gotten a little in. I haven't been able to do much, and that's because of the whole kitchen explosion.
Yeah.
And because I really need to take time and get my bra strap. There we go. I really need to get my whips and rotation back in order. My basket kind of started spilling over because it's like, oh, I want to work on this today for whatever event, and then I'll just throw it in my basket. Yeah, no. So I've done a little bit of stitching. I've gotten farther on Point Set a Place, Country Cottage Needleworks, Santa's Village. This is Point Set a Place.
Nice.
And this is how far I've gotten. I've gotten done with all of the specialty fibers, so like the Simply Shakers.
Mm-hmm. So getting
Those are Guests, right? Those are Gentle Arts. Yeah.
so.
Now, a couple of changes I've made. I'm not really changing colors. I'm changing textures. One thing I did is I've added a stoop. I'm going to, on this series, I'm kind of like Carolyn. I saw Carolyn Mazzio's thing about it. There's no stoop to these houses. It's like you step out the door and you're not stepping on anything and you're just boom, right in the snow. So I put a stoop in. You can kind of see the white stitching here on the door. I have a needle in here. I didn't finish pulling these stitches through the back. Oh my God. I was like, oh, I'll just put the needle under the stitches and leave it there. What I'm doing though for the snow, and you really can't really, I don't know how well this is going to show up on camera. So where all the white is charted, like if it's a roof line or the doors or windows or something, I'm going to stitch that white. Where there's snow, I have changed that to S5200. So yes, people, 5200 in the satin finish in DMC. And that's what I've done up here. It gives it doesn't sparkle, but it glistens.
Yeah.
And I'm a Minnesotan, I know snow. And when I see flat snow, I'm like, snow. Snow's not flat. Snow's very...
Yeah, you have to use either satin or the metallic.
Metallic. Snow's very dimensional. And I'm thinking down in the ground where you have more of the snow, a few of the stitches, I might go over them with the Krinnick pearl.
Oh, yeah.
To give a hint of glisten. But so all I have left now to do on this is the rest of the DMC and then to attach the button, the birdie.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got to ask my son Ian, because for some reason he has claimed these. The whole series is going to be his, how he wants them finished.
Okay, then.
Yes. I don't know if he wants them set up so he can do like little village, or if he wants them in ornaments so he can put them on his tree. We'll have to see. And then the second thing I worked on was a spring door hanger. Yeah, I pulled out an oldie but a goodie. I went way deep in the archives for this. Let's see, this pattern comes from Cross Stitch and Needlework. Mm-hmm. This is issue March 2008. So it's got the one with the baby on the front. And it's spring door hanger. Let me get this open. When it's done, it'll look like that. And yes, I'm going to finish it as a door hanger.
Very cute.
And this is what I've gotten done so far. So I have all the sky done and the tree. Like, where's the break?
Slowly but surely.
From here up is completely done. So now I'm working on filling in the house. Got the fence in. I've put in some of the... I got most of the hillside filled in over here. I'm working over here now and filling it in. I can't wait to get to the sheep. One thing I've changed about this is the window glass, the insets. Mm-hmm. I'm doing those 1/1 because I've done the sky over 2, and I wanted the windows to have a smoother finish appearance.
Yeah.
And because since this is going to be a door hanger and not going under glass, I really wanted to make sure the textures looked right, because people are going to be like, you know, nose to stitches in it. Which annoys me, but, you know. Can't slap people randomly throughout the day. Mm-hmm. So that's basically my stitching. And what I'm currently working on right now while we're doing the episode is I'm working on April Cottage. by Country Cottage Needleworks, and I got the top done. And I have to say, of the flowers, these are just some, it's not all the, well, it's okay, wait, no, it's not completely done because I have to put the flower colors around. I just got to get the purple. Of the leaf work for the flowers that have been done, and my other two, I have to say these are my favorite. Though I did like the shamrocks in March. These flowers that she's used in April, they're so bright and cheerful. And there are 3 specialty fibers in April. April uses, the house color itself is Amethyst by Classic Colorworks. And then you got Gassed, Simply Shaker, in Chives.
Oh, that's pretty. I like that one.
You know, when I first saw she was using a shaker thread on a spring one, I was like, really? You know, there's other brighter Gasts out there, but it works so well. It's got that like deep new green. It's not like, you know, a summer green, deep green. It is like a very spring deep green. And then, of course, you use Weeks Dye Works Artichoke, which is just a lovely mass of spring greens.
Yep.
So those are that. And I'm stitching it like I usually do these, where I'll stitch all these specialty fibers first, and then I'll fill in with DMC.
Probably a good way.
Unless, of course, I get impatient. I want to see how this is looking now. And then I'll quickly fill in all the DMC. That one area. So what have you been working on?
So I am sitting here currently stitching on my caffeine project. So I actually don't know if I'm going to put the cup of coffee on here. I think I might just leave it the chemical and the label. Let me take the cup of coffee off. Where's my stitching? Okay. So the first thing, or mainly the only other thing I did work on, so I've been working on the Home is Where the Cake Is.
God, I need to do that better.
Really like that one. I haven't gotten that far. I'm still on, you know, the browns and the cake. But I'm, you know, working on it. And then I also had a new start, not last week, the week before. I know, really. I started, I'll pull that up in a minute. Where'd my book go? From the book Oh Awesome. I started this one. So, and you can, I'm pretty sure you can get that off of 123 Stitch as well, but it came from the Glorious book.
The Book of Awesome. Yep.
And then, where is it? Here it is. I didn't get that far on it.
We both have the glorious Book of Awesome.
But I started on the dress. Yeah, that's up. There we go. Started on the bodice of the dress. So, and it's a gorgeous color palette.
Ooh.
So, and then like you, I've been working on trying to sort out what I'm going to do as far as rotation, but we'll cover that later. So that's, oh, new start. I've kitted, which as far as I'm concerned is a new start, and we'll be starting this one soon. This.
I love that. And I love what you do with your magazines now, that you go and you get them bound, like you get the spine shaved off. And
yeah, it is pretty much all my paperback books and any of the thicker magazines, like all my Halloween books, I'm going to do this too. And
You've done it to the Book of Awesome.
yeah, it's just so much easier. I don't have to make a working copy because most of these aren't big enough. I need a working copy. Most projects are simplistic enough that I can find my spot and go. So it's really nice. I changed the fabric, so it was using a cream or I think a cream color, and I switched it to a buttery yellow. I think it's a daffodil.
White work lace.
It's a discontinued.
The white work.
Yeah. A lot better on that. So.
And looking on it, all that white, that white work lace is going to pop so much more.
The blues on that yellow, they just look amazing. So
it looks amazing. I had a new start. I had a very tiny new start because I have a new acquisition, but I'll show the acquisition later. I'll show you the new start. Anyone who's also picked up the same acquisition will recognize where this is coming from. My youngest son, I do a lot of stitching for my youngest son because he's really into it and he likes to decorate. My oldest, he's more like, yeah, that's cool. But my youngest, Ian, really gets into it. He's a big Halloween fan. Him and Charity actually share the same favorite movie, and that is Nightmare Before Christmas. He loves all those Tim Burton-esque claymation Halloween movies. We actually have marathons some weekends where we go from Coraline, like Nightmare Before Christmas, Coraline, Frankenweenie, Paranorman. He loves them.
Good kid.
I started for him. He wants to do a Halloween tree now. He loves his Christmas tree. He wants to do a Halloween tree. And so I started his first ornament for him, and it's werewolf habitat.
I love it. That is so cute.
And it says caution, werewolf habitat. And then once I get this, the caution yellow filled in all the way, backstitched down here is things can get hairy. So, and if people who have this magazine see how this is finished as the ornament with the filigree frame, I'm going to try to find a filigree frame to do that. Because I saw that and went, that is so cool.
Yeah.
So he's getting a lot of ornaments made for him because he likes them.
Stack acquisition is next, so you can just
I can just go right into stash acquisition?
Yep.
Okay.
Stitching stack acquisitions.
Okay. Stitching stash acquisitions. But ow.
You joined the club.
I finally got it. Because Minnesotan stitchers will understand this. I live near the Wisconsin border. So I live on the eastern side of the cities, like the eastern side.
Mm-hmm.
Stitchville is on the western side. It's on the complete opposite side of the Twin Cities from me.
Mm-hmm.
So I have to plan day trip. You know, when I have to go through both tunnels, I'm planning I'm not going there just to pick up one thing.
No.
So I waited till this came into my store. That's why the barcode's blacked out. Because I bought it as soon as I got to work, and my manager let me keep it back in the shop so on my break I could leaf through it because she's a cross stitcher and she understands. But yeah, I'm really loving everything in this year's issue. I do have to get some of the older issues. I'm thinking about just picking up the DVD to get caught up.
I want the DVD. I have several of the other older editions, but I want the DVD.
There is one in here that, well, there's a lot in here I want to do. I want to do all the pumpkin tiles.
Yeah, those were cute. I liked those.
And me and my supervisor have come up with a great way to frame them. We're going to do 6x6 gallery wrap like canvases. And how we're going to do it so they're not so see-through is said we'll cut a mat that is the same dimension as the stretcher bars.
Mm-hmm.
And put that on there, and then we'll stretch around that. And we're going to use it as my first learning canvas stretching because fabric stitched fabric when you're canvas stretching is a little bit more forgivable than a painted canvas.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of our painted canvases that come in are irreplaceable, and yeah. The last thing you want to do is rip a canvas when you're stretching it. It's happened. Luckily, it's been on an edge where it didn't matter because it was going in a frame. But there's quite a few in here that I want to do, and there's one in here in particular that we want to do together.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking if I can, I might do it in the called for fibers.
In the Gloriana?
Yep, in the Glorianas. Because I'm loving, and I'm going to see if I can also get the fabric from my needle shop. Because I'm loving the way it looks. Let's see if I can find a big picture.
Yeah, I like the way it looks quite a bit. But I'm a rebel.
Oh, there's another. You know how I love the wordy Halloween samplers?
Mm-hmm.
Like I did my pillow with this, you know, I love these because I can turn them into pillows. I am going to be doing this one.
Mm.
And I'm thinking about changing some of these words. See, I'm going to do it on a different fabric. And instead of doing those words in gray, I'm going to do them in glow in the dark.
There you go.
So when the lights are off, those words kind of like appear.
Mm-hmm.
But that one that we want to do together, where'd it go? I'm loving all the chalk art ones they've done this year too. I want berries. They'd look absolutely adorable in my kitchen. But this is the one we want to do together.
Yeah.
I love it.
I am thinking, because I don't have time, I'm not going to do it this year. I think I might get some Fiberlicious thread.
Ooh.
And do it in Fiberlicious. Because she's got some gorgeous variegates.
I might take a look through Mo's.
Mo's got some too. I'm kind of
Let me
waiting to see what Halloween ones she comes out with a little later in the year.
Mm-hmm.
I might pick up a couple because her thread is very reasonable and just stash them.
I do want to get this fabric color though, and it's the Dolphin from Weeks Dye Works.
Yeah, I don't know. It'll depend on the thread I get. That's what I do. The fabric. That is I gotta decide how I want
that. When a Charity got this and she like, you know, teased me during a hangout going, looky what I got, and she was looking through it, like doing a live look through, and she got to this, she went, oh my god. And when she turned around, I was like, yes, a million times. Yes. So I joined the club. I missed the club last year getting the magazine.
Yeah, I put every my needleworks are
Sure.
my LNS, my has a reserve going like a month before, 2 months before they come out, and I always get on it. It's like, yeah, no, I'm not gonna.
Like I said, if it wasn't such a trek over to my needle workshop, I would probably do reserves as well.
Yeah.
Thank you, yard guys.
Gotta love it. Summer.
It's life.
Yep. So is that all your stash acquisitions?
Well, unless you want me to do my Happy Mail, because I got some Stitchy related Happy Mail.
Stitchy or yarn?
Stitchy.
Okay, Stitchy.
There was some Stitchy in this Happy Mail. It wasn't all yarn.
Stitchy, yes. Save the yarn for that section.
Okay. Oh wait, I do have another. I keep forgetting. I do have some more acquisitions. This is what happens when you're not prepared as much as you like to be. Okay. Other acquisitions. I went 2, 1, 2, 3 stitch.
Yeah, I get my order Friday.
Yep. I got the last 6 of the cottages, so July.
I love July.
It's super cute. I love August because you get like the lakefront, you get the waves.
Yeah, no, I love July. The colors are just, oh my
August.
God.
There's September. I love September with the apple tree. It's kind of just
The schoolhouse.
very Minnesotan. October. Though if I was to make any of these Minnesotan from this month on, there would be snow. So there's October. There's November. I don't say I like November, and I think when I first saw November in just the picture, I was like, wow, that's a mass of colors. This is the framer in me when I look at things with color, the framer in me looks at it going, how can I matte this? And there are so many strong colors in here. It's one of those, oh my God, it would be almost impossible because you've got a yellow, you've got a marigold yellow, you've got a red, you've got a green, you've got a really deep brown. But they work so well now that I actually can see it, not just on the screen at 1, 2, 3 stitch. Yeah, I can't wait to actually stitch it. It's going to look amazing. And then December.
Yeah.
Yeah. I am going to say this. I think the last half of the year for the cottages, so July through December, are a hell of a lot cuter than January through June. But then these are like the amazing times of the year where you're starting to see season change and all that.
It doesn't hurt that fall is probably our favorite season.
I can't help it. Like I'll say, so spring and summer in Minnesota. Spring is kind of amazing in Minnesota with how our trees look for about a few weeks. They look green and fuzzy because of all the budding. Summer in Minnesota is oppressive. True Minnesotans, we don't do a lot of like outside activities in the summer. There's quite a bit of outside activity going on in the summer because we're like, we have to get outside in these 3 months because 9 months of the year we are trapped inside. But there's a certain part where everyone kind of retreats indoors because it just gets oppressive. We get extremely high humidity. You're talking like 80, 90% humidity with triple degree weather for like 2 solid weeks. It's oppressive.
Yep.
Which is why a lot of us craft, which is why you'll see a lot of Minnesota housewives, we craft. And then my last stitching acquisition, which was part of a Happy Mail package from Netta, sent me some stitch bows. She sent me the holders, which I've already put 2 in here.
Mm-hmm.
And she sent me the stitch bows, and I'm using these for my metallics. And I'm going to get a little binder, I think like a 8x8 binder to keep them in.
Probably
So, yeah, because as of right now, all my light effects are being held like this.
Yeah.
And this is not conducive to proper planning.
No.
Because what I have to do is take out every single one and lay them out.
Yep.
This way, I can just page through.
Yep.
So there we go. So those were all my stitching acquisitions. God, I had a lot.
So let's see. I picked up a few more of the colorist flosses, and I would pull them out and show them, but they're stuffed into a bag of all my nice fibers that I need to wrap. So I have some satins in here, I have some metallics in here, and I need to bobbinate all of it, and I don't want to. So I got a few more. I think I have like 5 or under to finish the colorist set.
Nice.
And that was another thing I did. I went through my stash and I got a comprehensive list in my planner. So when I make a trip over to my LNS, I have a comprehensive list of all the flosses I need, like all the satins, the different light effects that I need, and then I also have just the regular floss that I need to restock, which isn't that much. But all the variegates and all the odds and end flosses, I have a list now of what I need to restock or get to have a complete set of DMC. For my birthday, my husband got me this book, which is what the butterfly came out of. So there's that. And then I made some needle minders. So we have a unicorn pooping rainbows, a unicorn barfing rainbows.
I want that one.
I'm assuming this is supposed to be a unicorn with diarrhea rainbows.
Or farting rainbows.
And this is just a crazy unicorn. And then we have the cute panda, sparkly. And an angel. And then my grandnephew picked this one out for me. And it says, kind people are my kind of people. And I went, oh, when he picked it out. Because how can you not?
Yeah.
And I also got the latest issue, and I think Mindy has it too, the latest issue of Just Cross Stitch.
Yes, I do.
And then I also got Cross Stitch Crazy, if it will. There we go.
There you go.
So, and I'm going to do a
Something about
yes.
that.
So if you go to, and I will actually go to the page and show you because I can. Cross Stitch Crazy has finally caught on to Flosstube. Oh, while I'm on my way there, I will be stitching this.
That is gorgeous.
Yeah, that might be a new start soon. Just saying, might be a new start soon. So Freddie messaged us last night and said, hey, have you got this issue of this magazine? I'm like, I don't know. I haven't checked my digital subscription yet. And because I don't typically buy paper copies of the European magazines. Actually, you know what? I have a screenshot of this. It'd be easier to show it on a screenshot than it would be to do it. Let's bring it up as a picture that way. So on page 67 of the October issue of Just Cross Stitch Crazy, they have an article on Flosstube up. And it also includes a picture of the Flosstube playlist that I created 2 years ago now, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And at the time, the playlist had 4,236 videos on it. We're at over 4,500 videos, and there are over 500 Flosstubers on the playlist. That is just, that somebody finally recognized this community is epic.
And for it to be like a European magazine, which in the stitching community, the European magazines are kind of like the pinnacle of publications.
Yeah, because we have 2 here in the States, but I mean, I'd love to see more done. It'd be really awesome if like Mr. X Stitch or, you know, one of the magazines did an actual article
Mm-hmm.
a little blurb, but hey,
We'll
they're
take it.
noticing us now, and that's a cool thing.
And what's really cool about that is the fact that if a publication is noticing us, that means YouTube itself
It's going to start
is taking notice.
But better than that, because YouTube, whatever. That means the stitching community as a whole, so designers and public, not like leisure arts, DMC,
Publication houses.
the different companies are going to start paying attention to us. So people might wake up and realize, hey, this community is alive and thriving, and maybe some of these craft stores, which are getting rid of their cross-stitch sections, Joann's.
You can't blame me for that one.
I didn't blame you, but all of them have cut it down. The Michaels cross-stitch section is a joke now. My Joann's cross-stitch section is a joke. Well, Walmart's always been a joke.
Walmart used to be decent.
No.
Back in the day, it was decent.
When I was a teenager, the Walmart section was the only place I could go to get cross-stitch because there was nothing else in town. But Hobby Lobby is the only place that has, as far as major craft stores, that has a decent section, and they're mostly selling their line, which the floss is horrible.
Yeah, and their kits, the artiste kit.
I love the patterns in the artiste kit, but those are all from known designers. You can go get a book of their designs for and go use DMC floss, because the designs in the designer books are charted for DMC, so you don't have to use that crap.
There is another thing that I had an issue with the Hobby Lobby artiste thread, and that's because when I did my comparing video between Sullivan's and DMC, I bought some artiste threads also. Yes, I bought some artiste threads. You can forgive me now. I use them basically in making tassels in my finishing. That's basically all that thread is good for.
Well, I have to say, I'm using artiste thread for this. Their satin variegates are stunning. But that's because nobody else does a satin variegate.
Yeah. But the thing that gets me is there's no transparency with that thread company.
Yeah.
And I say company in quotations because what I was able to find out was this thread is made in Mexico by a company that just makes thread, and then you can pay so much money to have your label slapped on it.
Well, they've pretty well quit selling most of their artiste thread at Hobby Lobby now. You can get the satin, but not like you could. They were overpriced for what they were. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love the satin colors that their variegates have, but they don't sell their variegates anymore. They just sell the plain satins. And a satin is a satin. It is no worse than DMC satin.
Yeah.
None of them are really easy to stitch with. They are a bit of a pain in the ass to stitch with, but I love the effect they give, so I deal with it. But with the community being recognized, I think that can only bring good things, and it's just so exciting that finally we're getting recognition. I mean, the community's been growing steadily for the last 2 years.
Oh God, yeah. I'm amazed at every day how many people like come onto Facebook or YouTube and be like, "Hi, I'm a new stitcher. I've only been stitching for blah 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 months," and I'm like, "There's new stitchers? This is kind of awesome, but also kind of mind blowing because I've been stitching since I've been formally stitching since I've been 5. So September, that's going to be 31 years. And it wasn't until these past couple of years that I've realized how many new stitchers there are, like people who all of a sudden pick this up in their 20s. And to me, that's just kind of like, your 20s?
Not everybody starts crafting early, but it's super exciting. So
it's super, and it's nothing but positivity can come out of this for the community.
I will be getting a paper copy of that magazine.
I'm going to get a paper copy of that magazine when it gets here to the States.
If nothing else, I want to show support. They put an article for cross stitching or for Flosstube in that magazine.
Mm-hmm. I think everybody, if you have the funds and the ability, you need to go out and get that issue. You need to show that publication that when the community is mentioned, not just like, here, have a magazine, community. It's like, hey, community, we're recognizing you.
It's, yeah, I think it is awesome. So, and then the other magazine I got is this one. And I love the flowers on there.
That's kind of cute.
Floral display. And then there wasn't as much in this one I wanted to do, but next, where is it?
Oh, your sneak peek.
Yeah, I love the sneak peeks. It's got a really cute shell wreath, but you know, and it's got some other things. Hurry it up. This is the only problem with that. Just keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. Faster, faster, faster. It's too slow. Yes, I know. I'm impatient. Now I went too far. Because, you know,
You're impatient.
that's supposed to, is what happens. Give me a sneak peek. Oh, they have some like.
Well, you look. I'm okay.
Babies.
Oh my goodness, those have to be mine. Just to let everybody out there know, if it's got a cottage, make your little list. If the pattern has a cottage, an owl, sheep, or bees,
Mindy
I
must.
have to have it.
That's the one.
Now, that one I might want to do too, because that's just plain gorgeous.
Yeah, I love it. It's just absolutely stunning. I'm loving the resurgence of wildlife cross stitch. So there's the one in the other issue. There's this one.
And like realistic wildlife, not this cartoony facsimile. Like I think in the book that Jim got you, there's that beetle.
Yeah.
That I want to get because I want to stitch that for my brother-in-law. He's an amateur closet entomologist. He does pest control in his yard with praying mantis. Yeah.
It is, yeah, it's gorgeous and it looks like
the beetle. And that's been the hard thing for me to find is anything entomology related that looks realistic.
Yeah. It's I'm loving that it's starting to come back a little bit. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Moving on before we have a 2-hour-long podcast. So what have you been doing yarn crafting?
Well, I have an FO.
Okay.
Ooh, I got threads on there. Finished Ian's hat.
Very nice.
And it fits like a little, I made it. Now, when you do, this is from Tin Can Knits. It's the Antler Toque. Those of you who don't live in Canada and Minnesota, a toque is a hat. Okay? It's a toque. It has these cable repeats that look like antlers stacked up on each other. My kids have like big heads like this. I had to cast on for the adult large size to fit him. But he doesn't like hats that, have big brims that you got to roll up, and he doesn't like them to come down too far on his head. He likes, the skull cap look. So I did 5 repeats of the cable before I started doing the decreases. And this is just in a Lion brand, a Heartland yarn, and I believe the colorway was Oh, let me open my Ravelry. But I got to make 2 more of these. I need to make one in green for my oldest son because that's his favorite color. And then I'm going to make one in the Lion Brand dark rose heather that I'm making one of my scarves in. I'm going to make one for myself because then everybody in the family has the same hat, but they're all different colors. Because I'm geeky that way. Let's see, projects. Hats for my boys. This is in Glacier Bay. So this is color 105 Glacier Bay from Lion Brand Heartland. And it's an acrylic. Don't knock acrylic yarn, people. There are some acrylics out there that are really nice. And when you're knitting for kids, acrylic sometimes is nice because this needs to be able to stand up to him going out at recess. It needs to be able to be washed. Now there is a mistake. I'm trying to find it so I can show you guys. Can't really see it. Awesome, but I bet you I could find it.
Don't obsess, Mindy.
Nope, there it is. I forgot to cable right here. So it looks like one antler stack had a buck that lost part of his antler. The cool thing about this is there's also mittens in the antler. There's also a sweater. I think that's it. So this was my FO. I focused on this quite a bit because it was for me, a really quick mindless knit because it was just a cable repeat.
Yeah.
Over and over and over again until you got to the decreases. And even after the decreases, it was really quick. I think I cast that off on Hangout.
Yeah.
And so I didn't really work on any of my other projects like wheat or trillium or anything like that. Instead, I have a new cast on.
You joined me in the crazy. Didn't you?
Yeah. Charity beat me in one thing, and that was in the casting on of socks. So I had to one-up her. I cast on my sock. I'm doing the Hermione Everyday sock by Erica. And this is how far I've gotten. I have successfully turned a heel, and I am now knitting this way.
It's looking really good.
Yep. I got the gusset going. This was a challenge. I mean, getting to do this heel turn, this was a challenge.
Mm-hmm.
Charity was on the Hangout. Netta was on the Hangout. Netta was trying to figure out what I was trying to say. And Netta brought in her dear friend Arlene, which thank you, Arlene, for the quick little mini sock class you did that day. The pattern was written where there was only like 8 rows written out, where you only got to like knit 7.
Mm-hmm.
Knit 7, slip, slip, knit, slip, turn, or slip, slip, knit, turn. And I was like, okay, I still have I have stitches on both needles. What did I do wrong? And I was having a mini freak out. And then Arlene got on. Netta told her which pattern I was looking on. Arlene pulled up her pattern, saw her pattern notes, went, okay, do you see the pattern it's forming? The 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm like, yeah. She goes, you need to continue that. So the next row is going to be purl 8. And then knit 10, or knit 9, then purl 10, then knit 11. And you do that until you've worked all the stitches. So then all the stitches are back on one needle. And it's because what you're working in when you do a heel turn is you're doing short rows. So you're not using all the stitches on the needle before you turn it around and start going back the other way. And if you freak out and don't take a moment to breathe and try to see the pattern that's emerging, it's difficult, but I got through it. I got my heel turn, and I got all my stitches picked up for the gusset. And then after this, I will cast on another one, so then I'll have a pair. And then I'll have to decide which sock I'm going to do next, because I've discovered something. I love knitting socks.
Yeah, I enjoyed it quite a bit.
It's an enjoyment, and I have a great plan because this is going to tell you how much of a geek I am. If you all haven't really figured that out already. I spent a good portion of the time one day during the kitchen stuff, and I went through Ravelry and I got every single free Harry Potter themed sock out there. And as I can, I'm going to go and be purchasing the other Harry Potter themed socks and knitwear that need to be purchased. I have a plan of having an entire sock collection of Harry Potter themed socks because I'm a geek. And then I also have a plan of doing a lot of Lord of the Rings themed knitting because I'm a geek. But that's what I've been working on lately. The sock is kind of, after I finished the hat, the sock kind of like sucked up all my time.
So my knitting, let's see. I finished my second dishcloth. Really uber simple. Love that pattern. It was really simple. And then where did I throw that? Because I'm going to probably, I don't know what I'm going to do with this yarn. I got to the heel with my sock. I had actually started the gusset, and I needed to rip back because I had messed up somewhere, and I couldn't take it anymore. This yarn sucks so bad. It is fuzzy. I mean, uber, I don't know if you guys can see how fuzzy.
I can kind of see the halo around it.
And it's the fiber split. So I've got a lot of just, it looks awful. I was tired of stitching with it because I would get stitches in and I'd go back and they look awful. So I'd have to pull back to that and fix that stitch, and they still don't fix quite right. I couldn't take it anymore. I'm done. I ripped it off the needles, and I've got sock yarn that I like.
And now what are you going to do with that sock? You're going to take it, the one that you ripped off the needles, and you're just going to throw it behind you. You're just going to forget it. There we go.
Hit the lamp from above me. So the other thing I have on the needles is a Halloween washcloth. So, you know, I've started this a couple times, and I finally have the right size needles. Thank you, Netta. And so I've got it on the needles to work on. So that's my current knitting. Have you done any crochet?
No.
Have I done any crochet? Yes, actually, I have a finish. I'm trying to remember. Have I done any? Yes. I have the adorableness that is the unicorn hat.
That thing's so cute.
So this is my grandniece's Christmas present, and I've already tried it on her to make sure it fits. She's 3. She probably won't even remember she's getting it by the time Christmas rolls around. But I'm going to have to add to it. I need a little unicorn to make a little unicorn stuffy to match. So I have to stitch a little unicorn stuffy. But another Christmas present, mostly finished, and can now be put up since I've showed it. So that was the only crochet I've done. The blanket is not been touched, really. I don't think at all. So
yarn? Nope, yarn acquisitions.
Oh yeah, yarn acquisitions. So yarn craft.
Yarn craft. So this is going to be 2 of the acquisitions. Well, actually 3, because actually more than 3. Wow. Okay. So in the package I got from Netta, I got this nice purple mesh project bag, which holds the socks. It's great. Which I might switch them out because right now I have Trillium in the drawstring bag. I might put the socks in there and then put Trillium in here because there's more room in here for Trillium.
Mm-hmm.
But the way I was able to get these socks cast on and start knitting them is Netta gifted me 2 skeins of Deborah Norville Serenity Sock Weight in pink sugar because she looked at it and went, well, that's a Mindy color.
Very much.
It's a self-striper. It looks so cool. And then I picked up, and then I got this little owl zipper pouch, which right now I have my tape measure in there and a stitch marker. See?
Hmm.
And that lives in here too, so you know I can always have that in here. That can come out. And then she also sent me, let me grab it all. Some cream and sugar so I can make some dishcloths.
Huh?
And this is color, what color is this? 42. Tea rose. Ooh. Pretty. I like tea roses. And then she sent me 2 skeins of the Serenity Garden yarn from Deborah Norville collection in crocus. Now this yarn is interesting. When I first saw this when it came out of the box, I thought, ooh, I can make purple socks. No, it's not a sock yarn.
No?
No, it's a 2. It's like a sport weight. Well, wait, I could do, I won't want to do gillyweed in purple though. And this isn't like a wool. It's a draw-on microfiber, so it has a really cool texture to it. I'm thinking I might do another shawl, another one of Martina's shawls, because Trillium is one of Martina's. I think I might do Hitchhiker.
Yeah.
In this. And if I do it right, if I have enough yardage and I can get the number of teeth that I want to get, anyone who is a total geek of Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, Martina Baum's pattern Hitchhiker, if you knit it with a certain amount of yardage in a certain yarn weight, you will get 42 teeth. And anyone who has read that book knows that what is the answer to the universe? 42. And then also from Netta, I received 4, and these are amazing, Shy Goo knitting needles in bamboo.
As she caresses them, hold them up so they can see you caress them.
Just a second. I have been doing this. One, there's Shy Goo, so yarn crafters out there know that this is one of the top lines for accessories for knitting needles, crochet hooks, and they're bamboo. I love bamboo. I love knitting and crocheting with wood. It's just a thing of mine. It has also to do with my arthritis because they feel warm, they're light. It's not a shock to my hands when I pick them up like the cold metal stuff. What I really like about these Shy Goos is, and I think people who get Shy Goo know this, but this is something I just discovered because I've never owned anything Shy Goo. I've only ever drooled over it. Is on the back of these, you get a kanji, and then you get the English translation. So bless, joy, longevity, and fortitude. So you kind of get good feelings and goodness with your stuff from Shy Goo, especially I think on the wood stuff. And then the one other thing that Netta gave me, which I don't have up here because it's full of stuff and it's sitting on the arm of my couch right now, is from DMC. Let's see if I can quickly find a picture of it. Come on, Kindle, respond.
Yeah.
It's from DMC. It is, oh, why am I so blurry all of a sudden? There we go, focus. It's sitting on the arm of my couch. It's the DMC armchair caddy.
Yeah.
For those who aren't sure what that is, let me pull it up for you if my Kindle will be a dear and work with me. Armchair needlework organizer. Yeah, I was a bad girl at work last night. I was chatting from work a little bit last night. I was chatting with Hope.
It's
She's one who told me it's that the new magazine was out. Yep, that's it right there.
There you go. That's what it is.
There you go. Yep. So I got that from Netta. It's amazing. The husband's happy I got one of those now because no more pins and needles being stuck in the arms of stuff, which annoys him because he's the one who always sits there and just kind of flops his arm down.
Yeah. No.
So that was that. Oh, and then one more accessory. I know. I keep like, oh my god, and another thing, is I also got this.
Yep.
Is accessory case. So one side, two sides. I have my DMC thread thing in there, and then these I'm turning into stitch markers, and then a random stitch marker.
More stitch. That's always a good thing.
I'm doing simple ones where it's just the ring with the bead on it, since I'm getting into sock knitting. So that was all stitchy and yarn related stuff.
So my yarn acquisitions, mostly from Netta as well. So we don't have a sugar daddy, we have a sugar Netta.
Yeah, we have a sugar Netta.
And I'm sure we'll be getting a sticker out of her when she hears that one.
Yep.
So she got me gave me a red bag because that's my favorite color. And I could go into the long story about why that's a bad favorite color to have. She sent me very beautiful red yarn.
Oh, you got grown up. Oh, is that a knit pick?
Yes.
Grown up yarn.
So like going to be a shawl or something when I get a little bit better at the knitting. So there's that. There's some little bits and pieces that she sent me, like needle caps. She also sent me a bunch of straights, but I'm not going to dig those out right now.
Charity's odd. She likes to knit on straights.
Yes, I like straight, and I like metal. So she sent me the set of DMC, or not DMC, boy circulars in metal, which I love. And here was one of the other things, because apparently this is essential if you want to know what size needle you have.
Oh, so if you want to check your gauge?
Yeah, I'm not a huge gauge checker, but I do a lot of freeform everything and wing even my knitting and crochet, which I am sure is going to drive Mindy and Netta nuts because I'm planning on doing a sock. I'm going to take like 2 different patterns and squish them together and go, which they're going to, you know. Look at Mindy. She's like, oh, God, no, you're not going to do that.
I don't even do that, okay?
I do with everything I do. So there were a couple of other bits and pieces in the box from Netta, but they've already been distributed and I'm not going to go hunt them down. The other thing is my Myers has been having knitting needles on clearance. So yes, more straights because I like straights.
Weird.
And more DPNs. So I got a size 1 DPN, a size 6 DPN, and a size 3 DPN. I almost picked up another size 2 DPN so I could have 2 different types of socks on a go, but I decided, you know what, let's just knit 1 sock at a time.
Well, what you could do is you could pick up another set, and then you can have both from that pair on the go. So you knit the cuff, knit the cuff, knit the leg, knit the leg.
Yeah, that'll never happen. And then this is the yarn I'll be casting on.
It's just crazy.
I know, but I'm going for crazy socks. And here's the DPNs that I got for that. So I think that's all of my yarn acquisition.
I have one more I forgot about. I picked up last night from work. I picked up a size D. Yes, it's metal. Because at Joann's, we don't carry bamboo crochet hooks, which if we did, this would be bamboo. I got a D, US size D or 3.25 millimeter crochet hook specifically for sock knitting. And this is for when you got to pick up your gusset stitches. Because I picked up gusset stitches yesterday with a separate DPN. And I'm sitting there going, this would be so much easier if I just had a crochet hook, because I could go through the stitch, pick up the yarn, put it on the needle. Through the stitch, pick up the yarn, put it on the needle.
Yeah.
So this will live with my sock knitting. I doubt I will. My grandmother used to knit with like the really tiny crochet hooks, like the 0.0.
Yeah, I've got them for thread crochet.
For thread, she would do cobweb.
Mm-hmm.
Cobweb length.
I want to do an angel out of that.
Yeah, and she would do like beautiful doilies.
Yeah.
Some of my early memories of her are at our family here in Minnesota in Butterfield. If you're from southern Minnesota, not a lot of people beyond a certain line in Minnesota realize it, of stuff that goes on in southern Minnesota. If you're from southern Minnesota, or if you are a steam and gas engine enthusiast, you would know about this. It's called the Butterfield Threshing Bee. That's where our family reunion would be. And I'd always remember my grandmother when I was really little, she would be sitting at the food booth where we'd all meet, and she would just kind of sit there and people would come to her. And she'd be crocheting, and I was amazed with her advanced age with her still crocheting.
Yeah.
All the women of all the wives who knit, crochet, whatever, would all sit with her and they would do all this stuff. And it was just the tiniest hook, the size of her hook. Because my mother crocheted, but my mother was doing like the mile a minute Afghans for missions to send with our missionaries. And so my mom's crochet hooks were quite big. And then I see my grandmother's and she'd be sitting there and talking and not looking at it and just crocheting these huge, elaborate, wonderful doilies. And I would love to try to get to that. I don't know if I ever could, because I looked at some of those hooks last night. I would need like magnification jeweler's loop.
Oh yeah, it's tiny. I have
to see that hook.
I have the hooks for it. They're yeah.
Yeah.
So sewing.
This lives with socks. Sewing. I did a finish for a friend. If you are in Cross Stitch It's Fun, you will know that our one mod, Claire, recently had a baby, Mr. Toby. He's the Mod Squad baby, really. I mean, he's kind of been claimed by the Mod Squad. Sorry, Claire. Another mod, Corey, stitched this beautiful baby blanket for, nope, that's not what I want, for Claire. And then she sent it, and then when she visited me, so she didn't have to mail it, she dropped it off with me here so that I could finish it. As I'm now finishing. Yes, you've all heard that right. I'll also be announcing this in my update video on my channel. I am opening for finish commissions. So contact me and we'll talk. But here we go. So I have a finish here of, let's see. There we go. So there's the blanket. Oh, wrong way. My son's drawing. Okay. So here's the blanket.
Hold on. I've got wrong button.
Okay.
Share. There you go.
Okay. So there's the blanket. Yeah, there we go. Charity's got it up better.
Don't have the back, but has front.
So this is the blanket. Corey stitched that. Claire loves elephants. And so I backed it and I fringed the one edge for Corey. And here is the backing fabric. It's a flannel. It's elephant toss. When a fabric print doesn't have like a plan, like they're not lined up or anything, it's called a toss. So that's an elephant toss. I fringed the one edge. I had to quilt the lines in. So on the front of the blanket, when you stitch an Afghan, there's these lines that run vertical and horizontal. So what I did is I used white on the top and gray on the bottom, and I quilted on those lines. You can't see any of the stitches on the top. And then I did a turned edge and frayed the edge. So that took a little bit of a time. And then another thing.
On the blog. In the show notes. Put pictures in the show notes so they'll be able
Yes, I will put pictures in the show notes. And then another set of pictures I'll go in the show notes. I thought I had them in my Kindle. I don't. They're on my camera, and my camera isn't up here right now because I actually took better pictures of them. I finished the baby wipes. And the baby wipes are the same elephant on one side, the same elephant toss flannel, but then a teal terry on the other side, and they're just edge stitched all the way around. They're 6.5 inches square.
Yeah.
And so that is what I was sewing on, and that took quite a long time because that was 35 individual baby wipes, and baby wipes have 2 sides, so that was 35 squares cut out of each fabric. That took a long time.
It was epic.
Charity kept me company for 4 hours as I sat there with the rotary cutter and just cut strips, and then turned the strips and cut this way and did it again and did it again. And yeah.
Yep, she was at it for a while.
I was at it for a while, and I was covered in like terry fuzz. I'm still finding teal terry fuzz in my couch.
So my sewing was quite a bit easier. I just made a DPN holder for my socks. So socks were coming out here, which this is a godsend. Might make more of these.
Oh yeah, I'm going to be making myself some.
So future plans?
I don't know. Future plans is I have cut out, and I still have to get the interfacing is I'm making cases for all my DPNs. My DPN collection kind of and Circ collection kind of exploded. I had people give me stuff. So I will show you my knitting needles, how I'm storing them right now. Knitters, look away. Look away.
Look away.
Crafters, look away. I'm hiding my face in shame because me and Netta gave Charity so much crap for this. This is how I'm storing my knitting needles right now. I have a full set. No, almost a full set of the Takumi 5-inch and 7-inch DPNs. Almost a full set of the 16-inch circulars, and then a few others that I've purchased myself because I needed like longer ones and I just needed a size. But I am working on getting a full, and don't knock Takumi people. I will eventually probably, you know, be a generous knitter when I have like my Hayahayas and my Shagus and my Brittany's and all that, and go, here, let me pass on this. But for now, I love them. So yeah, I need a good, so I have the DPN cases cut out and I need to sew them together. I need to get the interfacing so they have some body to them. I need to make a circular case. If anyone has any good patterns out there, or show me how you store your circulars, put them in the comments below, or you can message them to me directly on Facebook or YouTube. Let me know how you store your circulars, because my knitting needle collection is exponentially growing. And this is maddening to me because I love to be perfectly organized. This is so that's been my crafting life.
Future plans. Future plans.
Future plans. Future plans. Well, so my DPN cases.
Right.
So a circular case.
Stitching.
Stitching. Just stitching. That's my future plans for stitching right now, is just get done what I can get done this year. Just throw all other written plans out the window for that area and just stitch and get done what I can get done.
Yeah.
And then knitting is to just keep going. Crochet is I need to do a little bit more crochet. I've kind of abandoned it like, an unwanted child. Ooh, that was kind of offensive, wasn't it?
So
okay, I've abandoned it like a soggy cookie. There we go.
I'm a little bit more going for organization in my crafting life because I'm not going to have much time. So I have written it out. I actually have put in my planner for this week. Where is it? My stitching goals for the week. So I actually am going to start putting a section in my planner for the goals of what I want to do for my crafting, to kind of give myself a little bit of a checklist. Yes, I'll probably be making a sticker, Mindy. I know.
Okay. I was going to say, instead of a sticker, can we make an insert for to put in with the month view?
I was thinking about doing something on the monthly view, but if we were going to do that, we could just take I'd probably just take like one of these, and instead of doing
because I already have one of those for books.
Make a bigger one.
I have quite a big one in there already for books.
But then it can move page to page. That's why I'm just doing a weekly right now. I'm probably going to do a monthly goal list, but for me, this will be long enough. But you can do a bigger piece of paper if you want.
Yeah.
But I've just started doing that. So right now the big thing is I want to do 500 stitches a week on the lighthouse.
Okay.
So that's probably ambitious. We'll see how my schedule works out. I would like to, by the end of August, finish the caffeine project, which, since I think I'm going to take the coffee cup off and just leave it with the symbol and the caffeine, I think that's doable.
You could do that as a cube finish and look for a coffee theme.
I don't have enough fabric on the top or bottom. I'm doing a flat finish for it.
Or do a flat, but look for a coffee theme cotton.
And then I'd like to just rotate through some of my stuff, and maybe 100 stitches on a project a week would be a good goal for me. And then I still need to pick something for the Veterans Day sale.
Yeah.
It's really important to me. I do want to get something picked for that.
I have an older pattern that I got back in the 80s around here somewhere that I think I might do up and donate to my hometown local VFW or something.
So, and then for Yarncraft, I want to finish the Halloween washcloth so I can start on the Christmas ones. I will be casting on the socks.
Conquer the sock.
I need to get back on the blanket. I loved the sock. The sock was so much fun. The yarn was driving me flipping nuts. So really was enjoying it. It's like Mindy, the sock, once you get into it, it was like total suck you in. And it's like, this is just, and I'm doing on my DPNs versus the circular, and it's the same feeling. It just pulls you in.
Yeah. And it's
it's something I want
I
to keep.
wouldn't say it's so much of a social knit, like you can sit and visit.
I can do most of the socks socially, but when you get to the heel turn gusset, yeah, that is probably a wait for a quiet time.
Yep.
But
But with socks, it's like there's such a zen knitting.
Yeah.
You just
the pattern,
and I'm doing mine on two circs.
yeah. So, yeah,
But it's like you
doesn't
get to this
matter.
point and it's
Yeah,
you're so zen. You're like, oh, this is wonderful.
it's really relaxing. It was something I could do with the kids here.
Yep.
And it was just great. So, yeah, socks are. We have caught the sock bug.
Yeah, sock bugs there.
Sock patterns that the Hermione ones are on my list to do. I have a few sock patterns on my list I want to do. And I've started collecting some sock yarns as well. So, yeah. I also need to get that blanket back in the go.
I want to get my crochet skills up to par so I can do a blanket. I want to do one for my mom. I also have a plan for my sock knitting. I'm going to finish I'm almost done. It won't take me long now to get the foot and the toe done of my first Hermione sock to stitch its mate. And then I don't know what socks I want to do next. I had a plan of doing the gillyweed socks in the gillyweed yarn. I don't have the gillyweed yarn right now, but then when I was reading the sock pattern for gillyweed, it says you need a sport weight, which is a 3, which is kind of what, no, sport weight is like a 2.
Yeah, something like that.
Because most sock yarn is a fingering, which is a 1.
Yeah.
Which is like, a super fine. And so it's just though, it's like kind of like, and then when she said the needles you needed to knit it on, I was like, that's kind of big. It's like, so I may have to like really look through that one. I know I do have quite a few other socks in. I could do maybe one of the Weasley socks, multiple. Oh my God, there's a multitude of Weasley sock patterns out there. There's the Weasley Homestead. There's the Weasley check.
Yeah, there's a lot.
Yeah, I don't know. I might do the Snape socks next, or I might do the Devil's Snare socks next.
Well, by the time you get a few of the socks done, we'll probably be able to go back to the gillyweed and alter it to be able to, because the sport weight is not going to be a comfortable sock. That would be like a house slipper type thing.
That would be like well, for me, it'd be like a winter boot sock.
Yeah, but if you took, just thinking about how the pattern would work, you could take the pattern, flip it over to the right size needle, and for the yarn you want to use, you'd have to do a larger circumference. But after doing you'll be able to fix it.
Yep, I need to learn more sock math.
Yeah, there's formulas out there. That was one of the things I looked, because I have a big foot. So a lot of the standard socks patterns, I have to do a guy's size or do my own math, because yeah, the standard woman's size is too small for me. So
yeah,
but yeah, it's.
I have a sock that I might be able to knit for you because I have the men's size, and I think it's one of Hagrid's socks.
But yeah, sock knitting, if you haven't tried it, I've knit 4 things, and I started a sock. So I've done scarves. I think I did 2 scarves, 2 washcloths, and then I started socks. So do not let people tell you you can't. You can. Just don't to go slowly and take your time.
Yep, and for your first sock, don't choose like the most beautiful sock you see out there. Choose something very vanilla. Choose something very basic.
Knit Picks Go Your Own Way socks. They have the pattern written for 2 different. You can go toe up, or you can go from cuff down. And what I really love about this is they have a video walking
Yeah.
through how to do it. So anytime I had a question or wasn't quite sure what the pattern was doing, I can just go watch the video. And that is a great way to do it. Find, there's tons of videos on doing a sock, and a lot of them have free patterns, so you can find and watch the video and learn to knit socks at the same time.
And also with that, people who want to get into knitting, there are a ton of videos out there on YouTube that walk you through how to start, how to cast on, and walk you through the stitches.
Yeah.
Like there's sometimes I'll come to a stitch where it just says KFB, and I'm like, what the hell's KFB? And I'll just on YouTube search KFB, and I'll get like a plethora.
Yeah, that's what I do. Or ask Netta.
Yep, or ask Netta.
But not everybody has a Netta.
No, we're very fortunate. We have a Netta.
We have a Netta, and we don't share. So leave our Netta alone. She's ours.
That's our Netta.
Our Netta. Oh, well, I think that's about it, unless you have anything else. So
I don't think so.
The next podcasts, I think, is going to be at the end of August. For Labor Day weekend might be a good weekend for us to do it. So think end of August.
Yeah, because I'm taking that week. I'm taking that week off of work before Labor Day.
So, whatever week or whatever day, end of August, will fit into our schedule. So, I'm liking the twice a month, but it will be dependent on our schedules. So,
well, it's going to be more dependent upon your schedule, because my schedule is a bit more flexible than yours. If there does come a point to where we need to get one done, and if Charity is tied up, I will have a guest host, or I'll just wing it. Yeah. Oh, there's one thing I need to say that is work related. I have to do a shameless plug. Sorry. It's because I want to get one of these. Anyone who's gotten the new ad from Joann's has seen the new, what we call PWP bag, or purchase with purchase bags, coming out. We're finishing up with the coolers. They are $4.99 right now. So they are off the PWP thing where you buy a bag, you get an accessory. The accessories are $3.49. The bags are $4.99. So run and get them. They're really cool, cute coolers. They're in patriotic colors. Perfect for summer. They can fit 2 bottles of wine. Not that I would know. We tried it out. Yes, you can get 2 standard bottles of wine in that bag. The new ones coming out are really beautiful duffel-like bags.
Oh, well, that'll be it.
Yeah. I want to see if they're up on the website yet. And the reason why I am plugging these bags is because I want to get a bag. Now, they're going to be $24.99 regular price if you spend $30 or more pre-tax after coupons. You can get them for $14. I believe it's going to be $14.99. So you can get quite a discount. So we're going back to the old way of purchase. You can either just purchase the bag or purchase so much and you get the bag at a discount price, which is like a true purchase with purchase. They are really cool. Let me see if I can find the ad. Because there's a reason why I want to get this duffel bag. They look... Weekly ad. Oh, they changed the website around. They look pretty amazing. They look very, very roomy. Because coming up here, I have been bitten by so many crafting bugs, and starting next year, I will be hopefully doing retreats. So I need a decent project bag. Now, it is in this new ad. It's called Buy a Pure Honey Convertible Stow and Go Bag. Only $9.99 with a $30 purchase, so cheaper than what I thought. They're $24.99 value. They are coming into stores. My store should be getting it here tomorrow, which is Thursday when we get our truck. I will try to get pictures of all the prints for you guys and put them up on like our Instagram for Maliciously Hopeless, and so you guys can see them because they look huge.
Yeah, I'd like to see how big they are because yeah.
It would be an amazing travel project bag. You could get multiple projects in there. It'd be awesome as a carry-on, and it would be awesome as a retreat project bag.
I need something for school, so because it's got to carry folders and crap.
Yep.
And 2 planners.
So that. Okay. Supercomputer. But that is my shameless plug for work.
Cool. And I'm going to enable you now. Because I can. Clouds Factory just announced this freebie.
Okay.
So I've now enabled you and our viewers too. Clouds Factory has.
And it's so nice.
So yeah, it's really cute, and it's a kid-friendly pattern. So if you've got a kid stitcher, a child who wants to learn stitch, or if you just want a really cute cross stitch, Clouds Factory has one up.
And that's one more thing I want to touch on. People who are starting to teach their kids. Teach your kids, whether it be a boy or a girl. Find some sort of crafting. The one thing that I have discovered in this community, which is so super amazing, is how many male stitchers we have out there.
Yeah.
There are a lot of them. Not a lot of them make videos or have Facebook identities where they have, yeah, I stitched too. We need to start encouraging that and getting them to come out more in the community. I would love to see as many male stitchers as we possibly can get. My oldest son, when the notion strikes him, he will cross stitch. He's been working on King Pig for a couple of years now, but I'm not forcing him to, like, you must sit and stitch, because that's what my mother did to me. But it's what really helped my son want to learn how to cross stitch is, one, he could cross stitch like video game stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That helped a lot. And two, he saw like Stitcher Moose, Tim, can't remember his other name. He's one of another up and coming male stitcher in the community. He saw those guys stitching.
Yeah, Rocket Force Stitches. There's a lot of guys stitchers.
And he saw them, and he was like, "Oh, a YouTuber who used to YouTube, who's kind of faded, and I hope he comes back. Michael Batts."
Mm-hmm.
My son saw these men stitching and went, "Guys can stitch too," and I'm like, "Yes,
anybody can stitch."
Yeah. So don't sit there and limit it like, oh, I'm teaching my daughters, or I don't have a daughter, I don't have anyone to pass this on to. Teach your sons. Teach them how to knit. Teach them how to crochet. Teach them how to sew. Teach them. Okay, that's my soapbox.
All right, everybody. So have a great week, 2 weeks. We will see you again at the end of August. If you want to catch us normally, you can check out our channels. You can check out our Facebook group, where in which we have hangouts, so you can come talk to us too. We're always happy for new people to talk to us. So get a shameful plug in there. So it's Cross Stitch, it's fun. And every Thursday night we have a Stitch and Bitch. So if you would like to come check us out and see what we're up to and talk to us live, feel free. So leave your comments below, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye now.
Bye.